Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the good communication. And I'm happy one of the ministers of education, two of them are here.
Two of them are here.
They are here. We thank you for releasing the results. But it's very, very important. The new curriculum is supported, and we had issues here, but we went on with it. But the biggest challenge is parents not knowing what their children got. What did they get? And that's about educating the masses. So we are seeing every child got, is it result 1? And I have been talking to my wife. She's a nursery teacher. She said this time the results are similar to the way we give results to our children in nursery school, because we give them BA. So I've just started. Let me. So with the new curriculum, with the results, and what I said yesterday, thank you, Mingo here, we need to know what is the grading. We don't need to hide that. And Madam Speaker, we know education. We taught. We have not seen the new curriculum for A-level. Curriculum is not just introduced in any form. We want to know what are the A-level students going to study after the results that were released yesterday. Where are the books? NCDC is quiet. Ministry of Education is quiet. But students are going for A-level after this new curriculum. However, what we are seeing in the public is that schools have developed a method of showing how they performed well. I've been hearing already, Madam Speaker, school said, our children got 600 A's, 700 B's, there was no C. So now they have developed another method of showing how they beat other areas. So what were you trying to cure? We need to be educated on this, Madam Speaker. But parents, the public must know the performance of their children in terms of grading. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Seungu, Shadow Minister. Can we hear from the Minister of Education? Minister, because that must stop the discussion on education. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. And I really want to thank you for your communication, for bringing this matter very clearly, and for congratulating UNEB, Ministry of Education, and the entire country. Madam Speaker, number 2, I want to thank you and the entire House for approving this law, the new lower secondary curriculum. The approval was done on this floor. And I am happy from that time. We roll out from 2020. Much as there was interruption of COVID, but we managed to come to the conclusive end, and results were released yesterday. Madam, allow me to say that this is competence-based curriculum. And assessment is based on the level of competence our students attain. And that's why we moved away from the traditional grading system to a grading system that speaks volume about the level of competence the learner attain over the years. Number 3, Madam Speaker, you recall there is continuous progressive assessment, which constitute 20% over time, 20 years. Then the summative, the end of exams, which is 80%, the one that was done at the end of year 4. So when this is put together, there is the new grading that you've seen according to, is no longer distinction B, A, B, C, rather distinction and credit and what have you. We now have letters A, B, C, D, E. And this one is translated into the results according to the level. Result 1, result 2, result 3, and result 4. Result 1, for example, these are candidates who qualify to get a certificate. And this is result 1, thank you. Then result 2 is for candidates who do not fulfill the condition for the award of a certificate. For example, the minimum subject to be taken is 8 out of the 9. Some of the candidates might have not taken the 8 minimum subject. Number 2, the project work. some of the candidates might have not completed the project work. So this falls under the category of result 2. Then result 3 are candidates who did not meet the minimum level of achievement of all the subjects. These are the ones that might have got E, because E is elementary, while A is exceptional, B is outstanding, C is satisfactory, and D is basic. So we can have,
Honorable Minister, just a clarification.
Yes, Madam.
When you say A is exceptional, when you're marking, do you give marks and say maybe somebody who has got from 85 maybe to 100 is the one who has got an A? A person who has maybe got from 74 to 85 to 84 is the one who has got a B? Is that, do you award marks when you're marking?
Madam Speaker, we have a lot of business today, and as if the minister wants to teach us something that has come after the time they had. I would pray that she says they are going to do something to educate the masses and parents on learning how the grading is carried out. But explaining how A, B, and what, is he going to spend much of our time? That was some bit of laziness on their side. The teachers have time.
Honorable members, we are the ones who approved that curriculum here. We did approve. All what we need is to understand. We need just to understand. I know something that comes, a new idea is always not acceptable easily. But what we need to do is understand the process so that we are able to explain to the people outside there. So, Honorable Minister, yes, we are going to give you time. You come back and take us through. Because we are the voice of the voiceless. We are the ones who can go and explain to our voters outside there. So we'll put you on the order paper, then you come and explain to the House.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. I agree and oblige to your directive. This is a continuous process that we need to bring a paper, and I pledge to bring a paper next week in that effect. I thank you.
Thank you. We shall have the paper on Tuesday. We shall have the paper on Tuesday. Yes, Former Lope.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are already faced with very many questions. And next week will be too far. How about at least answering some of the basic questions tomorrow? For example, you know those days, even if they say no repetition of classes, at least sometime who has done very badly can repeat. Now, a person who has failed, where do we take that person? With the EEEE, where do we take the person? Cannot repeat. It is not going to be given chance. And they're asking us such questions. Asking us such questions. How do we answer?
Honorable Wall, I have already made a ruling to that effect. Next week is not far. We have a lot of business, like the way Honorable Sewungu said. Yes.
Honorable Speaker, I'm hoping that the minister sees the predicament we are grappling with now. Because as legislators, we're getting numerous calls from parents, from students, from teachers, who are not too sure how this has been happening. And it is taken about 4 years now since its inception. I want to encourage the minister that even as we wait for that statement here in Parliament, something that should have been ongoing already, if it has not, maybe it needs to start with immediacy. Can you bring the parents, the teachers, the students on board to know what exactly this is about? Because parents are calling us, teachers are calling us, and they're wondering how was the grading done. I was actually shocked because I should be the one calling a teacher to help me understand, meaning you have not brought the teachers on board, the parents, the students, I don't know where you have been for all these 4 years. So if it's not been happening, it needs to start with immediacy. Honorable Speaker, even the statement that will come to Parliament, as much as we need it with immediacy, I think it is not adequate. Ministry, you need to go to these schools. You need to interact with the parents, with the teachers, with the students, to know what this new curriculum is about. I was actually shocked that many parents, many teachers, many students are not aware. We need to fix this.
Honourable Minister, we'll wait for the report on Tuesday, but at the same time, you also need to engage your teachers on ground. You should have meetings with the teachers, with the DEOs, the PTA meetings, so that people get to understand. Honourable members, can you listen? So you need to give that information to the population on how the grading process is done, so that they come to understand. If I am not being put, I'm going to chase that those uncles of mine there and the aunties, so that people understand. If I have a 2, result 2, why am I not being given a certificate and that kind of thing? Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I undertake to do that as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable